Hello everybody, this is Swati Gupta, Chartered Accountant. Today we'll discuss applicability of Ind AS and its framework. From now onwards, all the standards will be recorded and explained in both the languages, that is English and Hindi. And we have decided that all the Ind AS videos will be released on Friday and Saturday, that is 6 am early in the morning. 6 am, why I have chosen this time? Because I want to give a kick start of knowledge to your day. Okay, in case if you have any language issue, then you can definitely check out the same playlist of Ind AS in Hindi language. It is available on the channel. I think we are good to start. Let's begin. The applicability of Ind AS was brought in India in multiple phases, okay, in different phases. The first phase was voluntary basis. Any company which wishes to apply Ind AS could have done it on voluntary basis, that means on willing basis. Okay, there was no restriction. This was an option given that was effective from 1st April 2015. Whereas the mandatory phase 2, here it was applicable from 1st April 2016. It had to be applied compulsorily by the company which is having net worth of rupees 500 crore or more. Any company which had net worth of 500 crore or more had to apply compulsorily the Ind AS from 1st April 2016. Now next comes this mandatory phase 2. It was applicable from 1st April 2017 on any company that is listed or is in process of being listed either in India or outside India. Okay, any company which is listed or is in process of being listed either in India or outside India, or any company which is unlisted but is having net worth of above 250 crore but below 500 crore had to apply Ind AS mandatorily, that is compulsorily, from 1st April 2017. This was Ind AS applicability in phases. If you have to apply Ind AS on any company, then you have to check this availability first, okay, applicability first. Next comes is phases of applicability of Ind AS on NBFC. NBFC means non-banking financial company. Okay, now your voluntary basis is not allowed, at all not allowed. It is not an option to NBFC. If it does not fulfill the certain criteria, it cannot apply Ind AS on voluntary basis. So if the NBFC that does not apply Ind AS, then it applies AS. Any company, any NBFC on which Ind AS is not mandatory shall apply accounting standard, that is AS. Now comes mandatory phase 1. This was applicable from 1st April 2018 for the NBFC, for the companies having net worth of rupees 500 crore or more, had to compulsorily apply Ind AS. Now comes mandatory phase 2. It was applicable from 1st April 2019. Any company, any NBFC that was listed or is in process of being listed either in India or outside India, or any company that is unlisted, any unlisted NBFC but having net worth of 250 crore or more but below 500 crore, okay, then this had to apply compulsorily the Ind AS. Next comes insurance company. All the companies, insurance companies, had to apply the Ind AS from 1st April 2020. That is 2 years deferment was further given for insurance company. Now further, it is not yet still applicable, the notification has not brought in, it has been further delayed due to some COVID and all, and yet the notification is not there for applying Ind AS on insurance company. Next comes is banks. The Ind AS will be applied on banks from a date the government prescribes, yet no fixed date has been announced to apply Ind AS on banks. So for currently the Ind AS are not applicable on banks. Ind AS is converged from of IFRS. This is very important question that can be asked in interviews and all. And what does converge from IFRS means? That means it has been adopted from IFRS, that is International Financial Reporting Standards, with some changes that are suitable for India. Okay, these are standards adopted from IFRS with some little changes so that it suits better in India. Now comes order of authority. What is an order of authority? This is simply in case you have any discrepancy, dispute or some confusions, okay, that 3 of these, Companies Act, Ind AS and Schedule 3 are giving some, are prescribing any sort of treatment and you get confused, then what you have to do? You have to give first preference to Companies Act 2013. Anything that is said in preference in Companies Act 2013 will be given first priority. Secondly, Ind AS, and thirdly, lastly, Schedule 3. Anything that is prescribed under Schedule 3 cannot override what is written in Companies Act 2013 and Ind AS. Okay, you have to prioritize in case of any dispute or discrepancy or confusion. Next comes is some points to be remembered while applying Ind AS. Okay, what are they? First, if it applies to any one company, then it becomes applicable to all the entities of that group company. Okay, if it applies to any one entity, then it applies to whole of the group. If such group has, for example, 10 more entities, then it will apply to all other 10 entities irrespective of what is the net worth of that each entity. Okay, very good. To any company, then it becomes applicable to all the entities. Second, your group company means holding company, subsidiary company, associate company, joint venture. Holding company, subsidiary company, associate company and joint venture. These four are included in group company. So that if it applies to any one company, then it applies to whole of the group. Now, thirdly and very importantly, it is only entry rule. Very important. If it means that if any company that has applied Ind AS due to any reason, either voluntary basis, either mandatory phase 1, mandatory phase 2 or any, okay, whatever the time, whatever the reason it is, if it applies once due to any reason, then the entity shall continue to prepare all other financial statements, all other subsequent financial statements as per Ind AS. Okay, it shall continue. There is no exit rule, only entry rule is available. Okay. Next, net worth shall be calculated on 31st March. Okay, so whenever you have to apply, you have to see the net worth that is of 31st March and it should be audited. Now, net worth of a company is calculated in a following manner. Please look it carefully. Okay, don't get confused in some values. First comes as paid up equity share capital, then paid up preference share capital. Then all the reserves out of profit, PL, CRR, DRR, that is debenture redemption reserve, capital reserve, statutory reserve, any sort of reserves, everything that is created out of profit will be included in net worth. Next comes is security premium. Next comes is other reserves realized in cash, if any, and then deduct the fictitious assets and losses, if any. That is debit balance of PL. Debit balance of PL. Okay, if any, then you have to deduct this. Now, very importantly, you do not have to include revaluation reserve. Okay, because this is not real reserve, this is not real profits. Okay, these are just due to revaluation of internal companies analysis. Okay, analysis of any asset or liability. So, due to any revaluation, you have created any revaluation reserve, this will never included in calculation of net worth. This is very important. It can come into questions, MCQs or interview questions, okay, or while really applying this practically onto financial statements of any company that you're working for, okay. Now, next comes is very importantly and very basics of holding company. Now, if holding company is in India, see, if holding company is in India and subsidiary is in foreign company, then what happens? The individual financial statements of subsidiary are prepared as per the local GAAP. Okay, since subsidiary is in foreign company, therefore the individual financial statement of that subsidiary company have to be prepared according to the GAAP, that is generally accepted accounting principle, being applied or being practiced or being prevailing in that foreign country. Okay, whereas if you come to consider this holding company in India, then what happens? You have to prepare this consolidated financial statement for the holding company, and such holding company is in India, therefore it has to apply Ind AS. Okay, very good. Now, next, this comes vice versa case, whereas Indian subsidiary and foreign holding company, the holding company is in foreign country, then what happens? You have to prepare individual financial statement of subsidiary as per Ind AS, whereas you have to report for holding company in foreign company. So, therefore, you have to prepare the consolidated financial statement as per the local GAAP of that foreign country. Okay, consolidated financial statements are to be prepared as a responsibility of holding company. So, you have to prepare it according to the local GAAP, according to the standards that are being prevailed in that country. If it is of India, you have to prepare according to Ind AS, whereas if it is of foreign country, then you have to prepare according to the local GAAP prevailing in that country, in that foreign country. Okay, now importantly, the entity following AS shall only follow AS. Very important. Any company that is following accounting standard shall wholly follow accounting standard. It cannot partially adopt any standard, any treatment from accounting standard. Okay. Now, if in special circumstances, in specific circumstances, if treatment is not available in accounting standard due to any reason, then what happens? It can switch, it can claim, it can take that treatment if it is given in Ind AS from Ind AS. Okay, it can apply Ind AS for that specific treatment if such treatment is not available in Ind AS. Very good. But see, very important thing, but it will not amount to that entity has applied Ind AS. If you apply any one treatment from Ind AS, then it will not amount to, it will not consider that the company has applied Ind AS. Okay, it will be considered that company is applying accounting standard, and if any company is applying accounting standard, it has to wholly apply accounting standard. It cannot apply it partially. And if in case any treatment is not available in accounting standard, then it can take it from Ind AS. Lastly comes is any entity shall give an explicit, that is separate and unreserved. Unreserved means without any exceptions, without any ifs and buts. Okay, wholly one statement, unreserved, without any reservation, that is without any exceptions, without any ifs and buts. Separate and clearly, okay, statement of compliance note of all Ind AS. Okay, it has to separately, explicitly provide an unreserved statement that it has complied to all the Ind AS. Next, status of accounting standard. Now, accounting standards are being currently applied according to Companies Act Rule 2016. Okay, currently. Now, however, it has been provided, it has been announced, it has been proposed by the government that on or after 1/4/2020, that is 1st April 2020, by notification, government can announce a list of new accounting standards. Okay, that is 42 accounting standards for entities on which Indian accounting standard is not applicable. They have to apply these new accounting standard. Okay, yet they have not been notified. Now, all new standards will be based on Indian accounting standard, but they have been made a little easier as the changes are being done according to the Ind AS, but are being limited use of fair value, limited use of present value, and limited disclosure requirements. These three have made the new accounting standards a little easier, a little more suitable in comparison to Indian accounting standard. Okay, these new accounting standards will be little more convenient to apply in comparison to Indian accounting standard. Next comes this analysis of CARV. What is CARV? CARV is simply the difference between Indian accounting standards and the IFRS. Okay, so in starting we read that Indian accounting standard are the converged form of IFRS. Okay, what is this? That Ind AS has been adopted from IFRS with little suitable changes. Why have these changes brought in? Because the IFRS prevail in foreign countries. It have been drafted according to the conditions prevailing in foreign country. So at times there are some practices, there are some conditions that are prevailing in foreign country but are not prevailing in India. Okay, so we cannot accept it same, okay, as it is. So therefore, if any practice that makes financial impact is known as CARV. Any difference that has been brought in Ind AS and brings financial impact is known as CARV, whereas any difference that does not make any financial impact is known as will not be considered as CARV. Now, carve in and carve out, these are very two important words. This can be asked as interview questions. This can be asked in applying these standards, okay, wherever you go. This can be asked in MCQ as well. What are these? Carve in is simply anything that was not in IFRS before but have been specifically included in Indian accounting standard to make it more accommodated in Indian businesses, Indian markets, making more accommodative to business of India. Okay. Now, if anything that has been included in Ind AS, if included in Ind AS, then it is known as carve in, and anything that is excluded excluded from Ind AS or while preparing Ind AS is known as carve out. Okay, anything, any treatment that was available in IFRS but removed from Ind AS is known as carve out. Okay, very good. In order to simplify it, let me explain it more clear, that anything that is was brought to make it more feasible in India, then it is known as carve in. Anything that is removed to make it more feasible in India, then it is known as carve out. Anything that is removed, excluded, is known as carve out, whereas anything that is included is known as carve in. Now lastly comes is the framework. Framework is simply that provides basic structure and definitions. These become the core, these definitions become the core for all other standards. Whenever you study any standard and a word comes up, you have to refer these definitions. What does the definition specifically include? For example, if you go for group company definition, it includes holding, subsidiary, associate and joint venture. Where it is given? It is given in the framework, in the definition. Now the purpose of framework, it is simply to develop new accounting standards, Indian accounting standards, and to review the old ones. If in case it needs any changes, then it reviews old Ind AS. If requirement of any new changes, then it brings in. Otherwise, it publishes new accounting standards also. Okay, so what does framework do? Framework simply develops new standards and reviews old accounting standards, Indian accounting standards. It assists user of financial statement in interpreting the financial statement. Okay, it basically provides a standard format, okay, so that the user of financial statement can easily understand it and get the right interpretation of it. Provides guideline to preparers of FS. This is also same, that it provides a standard format, a standard guideline to all the preparers of financial statement, so that whenever they provide financial statements, these are comparable, these are equally understandable by the users of the financial statement. And lastly, it assists in harmonization of regulations and standards. In case of any dispute, discrepancy, the framework comes into picture and simply harmonizes, simply resolves the dispute between regulations and standards. Okay, now framework cannot override accounting standard. It is basically the basic structure. It is not a Ind AS in itself. Okay, it can never override the Indian accounting standard. Okay, it can only support Indian accounting standard. Now it can be prepared in both bases. Okay, two assumptions, going concern or liquidation. Okay, in case if it is taking going concern, then all the assets and liabilities are recorded as per the Ind AS. All the incomes and expenditures are recorded as per Ind AS. Whereas if you go with an assumption of liquidation, in case of any liquidation, then all the assets and liabilities are recorded at realizable or payable value. The final set of value will be recorded of those assets and liabilities. Whereas in case of any incomes, expenses, profits and loss, what happens? They are recorded at the residual value. That's all for this video. I hope this applicability and framework of Ind AS is pretty much clear to you. In case if you have doubt, you can definitely comment down. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. In case if you need this PPT, the PDF notes are attached in the description box. You can definitely download and use it for your reference. From now onwards, all the Ind AS videos will be released on Friday and Saturday at 6 AM. Okay. Now, in case if you like the video, if you find it helpful and worth your time, then you can definitely share it with your friends and hit the like button. See you in the next video. Till then, take care, be safe, stay tuned.